My name is Laura Callahan, and this is my daughter, Hannah Hadley. So about 5 years ago, I was deep into my addiction of alcohol. I received DUIs and I ended up being sentenced to prison. I, at the time, lost custody of my daughter. After a year in prison, I applied for the Carol Graham home in Missoula. I was accepted and I was able to attain full custody of my daughter while in the program. So while I was at the Carol Graham house, we fully dedicated ourselves to our sobriety and to our children. While we were in our classes, we had to have childcare, and that's where we were introduced to the child care resources, and they were willing to step in and help us and pay for that child care while we were unable to be there for our children. After graduating the Carol Graham home, I was able to find an apartment, and I was able to keep my job and start working full time. And I was also able to still use the child care resource program, which has just been amazing. Being a single working mother, having to pay rent and other expenses, raising my daughter, it would just be impossible to pay for the daycare costs are so high, and it would just be almost impossible for me to do that. So I would just be completely lost without the child care resource scholarship program. Where would I be? I would probably be back in prison, to be honest with you. Hannah's future, unknown really. She would probably be living with extended family right now. And I don't know how her life would be at all if it wasn't for these programs and the help that I've received. If I wasn't where I am right now, our futures would just be bleak. The most precious thing for me in this life is time. The time that I have with my daughter there's no value. There is nothing equal to it. Nothing could be more important than spending time with my child and being there to raise her and guide her and just to help her be the best person that she can be, as well as working on myself at the same time.
My name is Tammy Quinn, and I'm a water wastewater superintendent. I've been operating water and sewer systems for almost 19 years. I got legal guardianship of my grandchildren in 2012 because their parents were making poor choices that involved alcohol and addiction and later incarceration. And I found myself with legal guardianship of them. Had I not stepped in and taken my grandchildren, they probably would be in foster care today. I work out in the field a lot, and I work with a lot of other utility providers in the Missoula area. And I got a call one day from one of my, a contractor. I received a call that my granddaughters were standing out of an apartment building on the second floor, and that they were being unsafe, that the littler one looked like she was ready to fall. So I jumped in my truck and I went over there and picked up my granddaughters and took them to my home. And at that point I realized that my granddaughters were being neglected, and that there was no other place for them to go but with me. Without the help of child care resources, I would have either had to quit my job, or I wouldn't have been able to take care of my grandchildren. I would have had to let them go to foster care. And in my heart, I just could not let my children go to foster care. And I needed my job to financially be able to take care of them and to financially be able to take care of myself. I needed childcare resources because childcare is expensive. And I needed to be able to come to work every day and feel comfortable knowing that my children were safe, they were fed, they were looked after, and that they were learning. Without childcare resources, there was no way I could financially get that and also be able to come to work and know that my kids were safe. Without childcare resources, I would have had to stay home because I can't imagine life without my grandchildren. They're a part of me. I've had them for over 5 years now, and childcare resources has let me be able to work so that I can show my grandchildren work ethics. And that was really important to me, for me to show the kids that there's a positive way of life. And with childcare resources, it's enabled me to do that.